Time to charge this. It needs a little watch needs a little charge. I need a little charge today. Desperately need to write today. Desperately. Like that song. I don't remember the name of it though. Not feeling all that great either today. I'm a little off. I'm off, as the young kids say. That's what the young kids say, I believe. I got a new video that just went up today. Watch it after this, please. If you're not watching this live, then you can watch it whenever you want. I would appreciate it. I'm sure we're going to talk about a lot of random things today. So hopefully people will bring in some random ideas. And we can discuss. Right now I'm just setting up my buffer. I was going to say my Belford, but Belford is the town I grew up in, so I would not be setting up the town I grew up in. That doesn't make any sense. Setting up my buffer for Blue Sky and Threads and my Facebook author page. Because the post that I just put up today, how I find time to write. Happy hump day to you too, Chad. The video that I just put up about a half an hour ago or so. Now I need to spread it all over the place. Set up my buffer to Buffett, to Jimmy Buffett this thing everywhere. All right, thank you for taking the time not only to read my new book, but for the nice review you posted. You are welcome, Chad. Thank you for writing a very good book. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the characters. But again, with one of your books, you always leave me wanting more. So as I'm reading it, and I'm like, read the page, I'm like, all right. And then I didn't realize what the percentage was on my Kindle. And then I flip and I read the page, and then I'm like, no, there's more. There's got to be more, which is a good thing. I mean, you wrapped everything up nicely, but I don't know what I wanted. I just want more of those characters, which is a good thing, right? That seems to be a good thing. I like that you mentioned I use side characters as mains. I never really realized that before, but it's true, right? As I'm reading the book, I'm like, there was a couple of I don't want to say it because we're live. There's a couple characters that their stories are, as I'm reading them, and I'm like, as a writer, I'm reading, I'm going, these are not main characters. Like, these are not the characters you create to write a book. These are the characters I create as a writer. I create as the side characters. You know, it's like this is a character that should be in 2 pages of a book as the bartender, or as the drug dealer, or as the weird dude next door kind of thing. These should not be main characters, but you pull it off because you're a great writer. And I don't say that lightly. And so I find myself wanting to see. I don't know if it was a Saturday Night Live skit or if it was like a Mad TV skit or something back in the day, and it was like about it was the sidekick in a superhero thing, and uh, the superhero gets killed, and all of a sudden now it's up to the sidekick to become the superhero, and he's like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I thought of that. I was like, it's kind of like that. It's like these are characters that I'm going to get a little philosophical. These are characters that don't want to be seen. These are characters that don't want people to look at them. They want to just kind of drift in the shadows. And Chad Lutsky has exposed them for who they are. So kudos to you, my friend. Great book. Did you see Frank Edler's comment on the YouTube? He had a very nice comment for you. It's so funny that you're saying this because even when writing this movie book, I've given a ton of life to some very minor characters who end up being scene stealers. Yeah. And that's, as a writer, that's fun, right? It's fun to go, I need a blonde bartender. I'm just going to write some chick in here. All right, boom. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute. This is, I mean, in my Dying Day series, there are 4 characters that go all the way to the end that were like in book 3. And I'm like, these are just minor characters. These are just cameos of random people, but they just would not stop talking in my head. You know, they were just like, no, I have more to say. I have more to say. I have more to say. So those are great. I mean, usually you're the person you're thinking up, the person you're like, this is my main character. This is going to drive the book. This is my reacher. And then you're like, no, it's all those other little side people, which is great. Gives you hope. And this is kind of, it made me feel warm and fuzzy. Frank doesn't give a lot of actual niceties without a joke at the end because he's so manly. I'm here. Start off. All we talked about was Chad's book, Keith. So you're good. He didn't miss much. Chad was like, "Oh, my book is awesome." I was like, "Your book is garbage." And then literally you just walked in. So we're good. Chad says, right. I was trying to read between the lines of his comment and try to find the sarcasm or some backhanded compliment. Yeah, and it's not there, which is not like him at all. So you definitely got to take that one with you got to take with you know what Frank genuinely liked it. If Frank is not sarcastic on something like that, that means he actually generally liked it. And I saw your review. No April Fools. So here's my thing. I hate April Fools. I think it's stupid, especially when you grow up with a brother like I did. That his April Fools was just to be a nasty little jerk and to do stuff and go, oh, I set your book on fire. April Fools. Like, that's not April Fools. That's just being an arson and being a jerk. And he literally did that to me one year. He set The Hobbit on fire. Luckily, I had already finished it. But he thought that was hysterical April Fools. I'm like, that's not April Fools. Chess says, oh, and thank you for the Goodreads and Amazon reviews. As you know, it can be very helpful. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't been doing Amazon reviews lately because I've just been doing the Goodreads ones. I try to do BookBub, but the book was not on BookBub. So if you get it up on BookBub, then I would do. People seem to really like the BookBub reviews way more than the Goodreads, obviously. So, just something to throw out there, something to know. Well, next Armand's opinion video: the difference between April Fools and arson with books. Yeah, right. My brother was my brother was not a nice. I mean, I can say it. My brother still isn't really a nice person. He's very selfish. self-absorbed, and I just don't. He's a sibling that if I wasn't related to him, I don't think I would have ever hung out with him at all. We're just two totally different people. My brother smokes weed every day. My brother drinks and gets drunk, blackout drunk every day. My brother has tried every drug under the sun. I've done none of those things. I am a social drinker, never smoked weed in my life, never did a drug in my life, anything heavier than, Advil. And he's just a rude person. My brother is the I'm going to tell you like it is person, but I'm like, you're a jerk. Like tell it like it is one thing, but you have your warped opinion on stuff, you know. My brother's a decade younger than me and just can't be bothered to have read a word I've ever written. Not sure why. We used to be best friends. When we were kids, I mean, up until like 12 or 13. But we grew up with like on our block a dead end. We grew up with like 30 kids on the block. I mean, it was me and my brother, but the across the street there were 6 kids. Next to them was 5 kids, and we had a lot of 2s and 3s. So we grew up with a ton of kids all around our age. Like when I was 10, there was like 7-year-olds to 13-year-olds. So we were all in that whatever 6 year mix or whatever. So we would play kickball and football in the street and manhunt and everything else. Snowball fights, but only in the winter though, not during the summer. Chess says, I taught him how to skateboard and play guitar. We were in 2 bands together, played shows, recorded, but he's way different now. My sister hates it. Yeah. My dad, when my dad was alive, he would always say, that's your best friend. That's what he would say. And I'd say, no, he's not. I don't like him. He's not my best friend. I said, you don't get along with your brother. So my uncle Armand, who passed away 20 years ago, was the same way. He was the same as my brother. Drug addict, alcoholic, got into a lot of fights, huge gambling problem like my brother, and he had like his 3rd DUI in like the 90s, and then he had gambled away all. He had nothing, so he basically just packed his car one night in the middle of the night and he left everything, not that he had much, and he drove to Vegas and he got a fake ID and he reinvented himself as a like fake ID as in like my name, his name, my grandfather's name Armando is the first male. And so first male is Armando, second male is Gerald. So my brother's Gerald, my dad was a Gerald. So he went and he got a fake ID that just said Armand or Armand Rosamilia. He just dropped the O. And that was his ID. And then he started working. He ended up being a pit boss in Vegas until he passed away. He had a massive heart attack. And my dad and my cousin Armand had to go out there and all that. And I'm like, you hadn't seen your brother in like 15 years at that point. A brother is a friend gifted from God. Are you sure God did that to me? I don't believe so. And so I was like, you can't say, oh, I got to be friends with I don't like him. I don't like anything he does. I don't like. He's never been to my house, and I haven't been to his house. I don't think since we moved to Florida, except for when I first moved down and he stayed with me, or I stayed with him for about a month. And then at one point he was between apartments and he stayed with me and my ex-wife and my kids for about a week. And that was it. That was enough. she was like, "Yeah, he can't stay here," and I'm like, "Yeah, Jared, you got to go. You got to find another place." Just I love my brother, but he's a sourpuss these days. And we only hang out once a year for the annual family Christmas thing. Yeah, I love my brother, and I also dislike my brother. He's loud. He's obnoxious. He comes to Christmas. He doesn't sit in the dining room with all of us. He sits in the living room and then he shouts, talking to you. It's just he's just really, really. He has a lot of mental issues that he has never dealt with. Just that sucks, man. I hate to hear about siblings not being close. Yeah, and then he married. I think I've told those stories. He married a woman who was a multimillionaire, and then he blew that with the gambling and the drinking. And my brother is an angry drunk. So if I get drunk, which is very rare, but if I get drunk, I love you. I want to hug you. I want to tell you how awesome you are. I want to tell you how cool you are and blah blah. When he gets drunk, he starts telling you all the things he hates about you, and most of it is really things he hates about himself. Because yeah, I'm a happy. Yeah, I can see you would definitely be a happy drunk. Keith probably a maniac drunk. Keith's probably a serial killer when he's drunk. He probably killed 12 people. We don't even know. Keith doesn't even know. He blocked out 7 people died. He has no idea what happened. Yeah, I figured you were an angry drunk. Yeah. You just have that look. I don't know. You just have that angry drunk look. What the hell, dude? Put a shirt on. The guy who's married to the Chinese lady, he's out here walking. He's got no shirt on. Like, dude, you're like in your probably early 60s. I mean, he's in way better shape than I am, but still, put a shirt on. 79 degrees. It's not even 80 degrees out. Keith says, haven't drank since my son was born. But what Keith is not saying is his son is 4 days old. If we're out socially, I will nurse one beer. That's kind of my thing. It's like, you know what? Like, I know we're going for our anniversary. We're going to the nice steak place in Biloxi. My wife loves their steak. And I'll get their Chilean sea bass. And they'll be like, oh, you have a peach bourbon drink. And I order one. And then I just drink it all during my meal. And it's delicious. And I could probably drink about 50 of them. But I'm like, no, I don't. Plus they're like $12 a pop or something. I'm like, I'm not doing all that. But socially, now my wife has never had alcohol in her entire life. She does not drink at all. And that's not even because she grew up in a very religious household with a dominating father. That's just because she's like, I didn't like the smell of it. I don't think I would like the taste of it. And I didn't hang out with people who were drinkers. She's kind of got the same love hate thing with her sister, although her sister is 5 years older. Normally, it's the younger brother who ends up being the jerk. With her, it was opposite. But her sister, does everything she never did. Drinks. She's done drugs. I'm sure she vapes. She's can't keep a relationship with anybody. you know. So, but these are the things life gives you. I don't know. It's a crazy world we live in, though. So crazy that I had my coffee of the day this morning, and I didn't have a second cup of coffee today. And I'm like, you know what? My wife made lemonade, which is friggin' delicious. I'm just gonna have lemonade. No more coffee. What are you supposed to be writing today? How dare you? Yeah, I'm gonna write. I'm gonna write on my King of the Mountain, my Southern Gothic noir thriller. Again, if I can do 500 words, I'll be happy. In fact, I'm going to write some right now. Kid managed 800 this morning. Nice. Very nice. My average, my 1,096 word average has dropped significantly in the last week or so. Pretty much I'm blaming it on my therapist passing away. But it's more than that. It's just overall feeling of the depression I fight, feeling of like just blah. You know, my wife going away, and now she went to her aunt's yesterday, her and her cousin for lunch, but she got home about 6 o'clock. We had dinner. We made chicken fajitas, watched some TV, and we both we were on the couch. It's like 8:45. We were watching some show about the CIA, you know, some thing about the CIA, and we were both at one point we both were snoring, and I'm like, I'm going to bed, and she's like, you know what, me too. I'm like, you never go to bed. It's 9 o'clock. She's like, I don't care. We both, and we were out till 9 o'clock this morning. I mean, I didn't move. You know, normally an old man, I get up like 4 times to go to the bathroom. I didn't move. So it's like, you know, one of those you just need a good 12 hours of continuous sleep. I did have some crazy dreams. I don't remember them, but I'm having nightmares a lot lately, and I don't know why. But then she's at her mom's today, so she won't be home until about 10:30 or so. And then tomorrow she goes to work, and then right after she goes to her mom's for dinner. So she'll be home at like 10:30 tomorrow. And then Friday morning she's at her mom's because Tom and Jess are leaving until Monday, probably Monday night. So I won't see her Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, which is going to suck. Certain food can cause nightmares, particularly if you eat them past a certain time of day, I think. I haven't figured out what it is. I know back in the day when I ate pretzels at night, I would always have nightmares. And I don't know if that's really true, but I just always remember anytime I had pretzels, I would have nightmares. Sugar will cause nightmares. Here's the weird thing. Like, we ate dinner at 7 o'clock. Then I went to bed at 9 o'clock. But all dinner was chicken fajitas. So I didn't even snack. I didn't even eat cookies. I didn't eat anything else. And I drank water. So I don't know what's, I just can't figure it out. It's not like I'm eating the same thing every night. I'm like, oh my God, every time I eat these Cheetos, I have nightmares. You know, like I if I could figure that out. But I had nightmares, but I didn't wake up all night from them. I feel the need to read. There's Frankie Edler. Son of a. The whole M dash thing is BS. I use them all the time and always will. Me too. Me too. But now we're just going to keep circle jerking around about AI, and if it's AI, if it's not, and if somebody's using it, and if somebody's not, and blah 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 blah. Shut up. And here's the thing: it's up to the reader. If the reader's like, ah, I'll read this AI stuff, it's not bad. Then we're screwed. We can keep screaming and yelling. Most readers are non-writers and they have no idea about all of this stuff. They know, this AI stuff, but we're using it. This is fun. I'm making caricatures of me and my dogs online, and I don't care that the power grid is going to eventually go out and we're going to run out of water. Oh, Robert Cheshi says the witch hunters need to take a rest. That means you're using AI. That's what they would say. You can't argue with them. I put more M dashes in now to really set them off. Plus 2 M dashes. Always 2 M dashes. Sometimes I put like 7 or 8 M dashes. Sometimes we're just M dashing the crap out of that thing. My thing is you can never have too many M dashes, and you know what? It wasn't one of Elmore Leonard's rules to not have 400 M dashes. Yeah. Yeah, whatever that thing is that Frank just put in there. Exactly. Just, I think entrepreneurial writers who used to write on their own successfully are now starting to use AI. Robert Cheshi says, the dogs can play basketball exception. Yeah, I mean, there's got to be an exception, and that should be it. My wife's best friend made one of our dog and a Christmas hat sitting on the back of the bed of a red pickup truck for Christmas. And she was so proud of herself. My wife, in fact, I'm looking, it's still hung up. I keep forgetting to take the damn thing down. Every time I look at it, I get annoyed. But she bought, she's like, I'm going to buy this computer with a lot of space bubble. I'm going to start doing things. And I said, hey, could you not talk about this in front of me? This was at Christmas, I think. And she's like, what? And I said, oh, because you're using AI. You're not a creative person. And you're basically stealing from people who are creative. And I gave her the whole speech and I was pissed. And then Shelly was like, yeah, Jennifer, I told you not to talk about this in front of him. She's like, well, it has nothing to do with you. I said, oh, the hell it doesn't. This is how I make a living. I said, so you know what? Whatever your dumb job is, I know her job. She works for my wife. You know what? I hope a robot comes in and takes your job. And then you're like, and then I'll be like, well, that's who cares? Chess says, I think all of Armand's night subscribers are either night owls who are still sleeping when he goes live or they're all at work. So it's just us every day. Yeah, I believe everybody's at work. I believe everybody. So yesterday, this is how many subscribers I got just yesterday. From yesterday to today. You ready? It's probably more because I checked this at 9:15 this morning. 2,559 subscribers in one day. over 2,500 subscribers. That is insane. And of course, I got a lot of looks on the videos. I'm over 12,000 on hobby versus career. I'm over 19,000 on how I motivate myself to write every day. 70, almost 7,300 on how I deal with writer's block. I just put a video out about 20 minutes before I came in. I already got 4 views on that, so it's flying. He says Amazon limited us to 3 titles a day because of the sheer number they were pumping out. So yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, somebody, a publisher had. All she does is lick herself. That's all. If I could do that, I wouldn't leave the house. Yeah, some publisher was like, I tried to put a 4th book release. I totally forgot about this stupid thing. So now the book can't get put up for sale. I got to wait till tomorrow to put it up. I'm like, yeah, that's just dumb. I mean, it's not. I understand what they're doing because, man, remember there was like that he was like, I released 100 books today. Like, that's nuts. He says Amazon limited. Yeah, okay. He says how many hairballs? Like, oh, this cat pukes twice a day. She eats super fast. She eats her food super fast, and then she goes and she immediately sits on the couch or the chair, and she pukes all over the chair or the couch. So then you got to clean it. Or she goes under the dining room table and she likes to puke under there. And then just for no reason, I'm guessing because of hairballs, she's puking. Chez says, dude, that is insane. It's those blue eyes. Gotta be. Gotta be. I have eyes that change from hazel to blue. I don't know why they change, but they do change. But not one. And I'm not Stephen Piercy. It's not one of each. And who's the other one? Scherzer or DeGrom, one of the pitchers. They have like 2 different colored eyes. So yeah, I mean, I'm like 2,500 subscribers in one day is insane, right? Yeah, so this morning I had 18,846. And right now, that was it, again, 9:15 this morning. So 3 hours later, I have 19,338. So I've added like 500 more subscribers in 3 hours. I would say what also helped. We were talking about the shorts yesterday, and I had a woman who on TikTok who did a, what do they call it, duet with one of mine from a couple days ago, one of my coffee ones. She's like, this is a great idea. I'm stealing this. I want to tag him on it so he knows that I'm blatantly stealing this. I'm going to start doing this same thing. And she's like an older woman. You could tell she's a very old sounding voice, like in her 70s. And she's like, my husband buys, he works for whatever he does, but he gets K-Cups, samples all the time. And he always brings them home, and I'm the only one who drinks coffee. And it's, she's like, so I'm going to start doing this every day. I'm going to pick a different one. And if I have the same one that I think she called me Armand. If Armand has, I'm going to also drink that one that day. I'm going to wait for his short every day, but then I'm going to hit the duet thing. And I got like 600 and something views on that TikTok video. I was like, wow, hopefully people will come over to for YouTube on that, you know? Who knows? Charlie in the house. Where am I? I gotta keep writing. Right, right, right. Can't wait for all the super funny April Fool's thing where at least 5 writers say, "I'm not writing anymore. I quit. This just isn't working for me. I'm gonna get a job at Starbucks." And then people, "Oh, no, don't do that." And then they say, "Ha ha ha! It's April Fools. I got you. I'm not working there." I'm sure Chad has watched Repo Man several hundred times. I've never seen Repo Man, as far as I know. Some guy's talking about it. They're doing some event or somewhere. Never seen Repo Man? Is that what yeah, I've never seen it. Isn't that weird? I had a chance to see it a couple of times, and I don't think I don't remember why. Obviously, many years ago, and I wouldn't even thought. But apparently, Friday, May 1st, at the Texas Theater, in Dallas, Texas, the Circle Jerks are playing a concert, and they're gonna do a. It's who's this Substack? Jim Ruland. He'll be emceeing a Q&A with Alex Cox and members of the Circle Jerks. The event will be taking place in between a performance by the Circle Jerks and a screening of Alex Cox's 1984 sci-fi punk rock romp Repo Man. That's a lot of words. Yeah, the Circle Jerks. Apparently, Chad didn't think I knew who they were. I know the soundtrack. Yeah, I know that. I 100% know the soundtrack, but I've just never seen the. I've never seen the movie, which is, I think, weird, right? Well, I guess I'm by myself for the next 4 days. You should follow him on Chad. Should follow him on Substack if you don't already. He's got a whole thing about going to. He's doing this, and then he went to Hermosa Beach, hung out where Keith Morris used to work at his father's bait shop, and a bunch of stuff like that. Interesting. I already followed Jim on Substack. Jim Ruland, Ruland. I think it's on Tubi. All right. I like Tubi. River Edge also has a great soundtrack. You know what, Chad? Maybe I'll watch that this weekend too. I finished reading all of the Derringer Award stories. Sent that in, and they just made the announcements. So here's the thing: I read 40 stories, and I give my scores. Oh, my back itches. And then they announced the top 5 the vote. Now I'm not the only one who votes. There's like 10 other people or 9 other people that are also reading the same batch of stories and then given their ratings. And only one story I absolutely loved. They gave it 10s all the way across. And that was the only one that made the list for me. So of course I had to go in and vote for that one. Key says Repo the Genetic Opera. No, not that. I never saw that either. I saw parts of it. My buddy Mike had it on, and you got to be in the mood. I was like, yeah, I'm not. I don't care about this. Just as crap. I just realized I had 2 crime stories I could have subbed to that. Is it closed? Oh yeah, way closed. Yeah, the thing was January. I think January 15th or something is when you had to get all of those in. Nick says Greece. You know what, Nick? You're right. Greece is the word. Yeah, Keith, bird is the word. There's a lot of. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of words. So I didn't even know about the Derringer words until like a month. Again, I'm just gonna say it. The group that I'm in with that you poo pooed. Oh, I'm not gonna. I don't want no email group. Blah blah blah. That's where I find out about all of this stuff. Every award, every convention, every new publisher, all of it. So as long as your story was released last year, was published by a publisher, doesn't even matter if it's a publisher that does prorates or anything, then you can submit that story, and then they give it to all of the. What's cool is they give that story to all of the judges, but they also put it up on the group thing, um, and anybody can go in and read all those stories themselves. So when are the stories that are picked, the 5 flash, short story, novella, and novel, or not novel, anthology, and you can read all of them for free, and then you can vote. One was for a Flame Tree invite that was put out last year. The other was a Shotgun Honey piece of flash. But now that I think about it, that wasn't last year, so just a Flame Tree one. Well, keep track of what you're getting released this year, and then come December when they start talking about it, I will remind you. And then so you vote online now for the Derringers. For the Anthony Awards, they do them. You vote while you're at BoucherCon, so only people at BoucherCon are voting for those. But then the Derringer, the Anthony, and what's the other one? Seamus Awards are all given out during BoucherCon. All the votes are in. That's why I'm like, I got to put out more of these short stories and get them in anthologies that are voted on, or get my own book out there that's voted on. And I could have done it this year. I just am lazy. Because do you have plans for any indie releases this year? Are you sticking to your no more self publishing? I still have. I'm gonna tell you what I have coming out this year. Uh, in about a week, next Tuesday, so in a week, the second book of the trilogy, the Black trilogy from me and Tom. Then in May, I'm going to do Dirty Deeds box set, book 1 to 4. In June, should be Dying Days, Patient Zero. So that will be one. July will be the third Black book. August will be the Dirty Deeds box set 5 to 8. Oh, no, nothing in June. September, Dying Days, Patient Zero comes out. October will be the first of the White trilogy. November will be my 7th short story collection, which I'll put out. December will be the box set 9 to 12. January 2027 will be the White book 2. Nothing February, nothing in March so far. April will be the White, the third book there. And then I'm not writing anymore with Tom Duffy. So that should clean everything up and give me everything that's just kind of hanging. So let's see what happens. Charlie has what Flame Tree book was it? Chad says, I have a couple stories submitted with them now. Horror, though, not thriller crime. Chad says, Charlie, it was called Fever Dreams. I think it came out at the end of the year. Nick says, in unrelated news, I lost my wallet yesterday, but went to work only to begin the search. Went home. Any guesses where it was? Probably under a stick of dynamite in the park. That's a nice busy schedule for Wild Armor. Yeah, I'm trying to basically flush everything out and get them done. So at some point, too, the Black, I'll do a box set of those 3. And then the White, I'll do a box set of those. So that's another couple of releases there, probably for into next year. And then the goal is obviously to finish this book I'm working on now, and start to look for an ideally, I would find an agent by the end of the year. That's the goal. And then we start working on next year, finding a publisher, and probably, I would imagine 2028, I would get on their release schedule. Trish says, that's cool. I'll check it out. That's awesome to be invited. Not a park, not in my car. In your imaginary girlfriend's God's pocketbook. Trish says, where was it? When I lose mine, it's usually in the bathroom or in my car. When I lose something, it's usually the second to last place I look. It says, nope, it was under the toilet. Under the toilet. Like you picked up the toilet bowl and you put it underneath. So keep looking after you find it. Yeah, you got to look at least one more place just to be sure. Sometimes it's in 2 different places. Sometimes I'll find it on the first shot. I'm like, where did I leave my wallet? Oh, it's right here on my desk. I'm going to keep looking, though. And then for like the next hour, I just keep looking. I was like, what are you looking for? I'm like, my wallet? She's like, it's in your hand. No. I want to be sure. Because what if I keep looking and I find another wallet, similar wallet? Chad says, Chad's goals. Start and finish a Foster Holmes and Fly screenplay. Be done with the Bowden collab. Have a lit agent, or at least try hard. Release at least one more novella and a novel ready for my agent. Very nice. My goal is to finish this book. My goal is also to finish the Last Severed Press book. My royalties for the last quarter. I got my royalties in for the last for quarter 4 for last year. 11 books out with them, including audiobooks on most of them. $26 for 3 months. That is just awful. Just fucking awful. So this is what I have on my tier 1. Okay, the Southern Gothic King of the Mountain. I'm doing right. I'm at almost 38,000 words on this, so close to halfway. I also had started an untitled Southern Gothic noir, which is 8,888 words. So that's about maybe 10% done. I also have another one, The Devil's School, which is at 28,000 words. Now, that one started out years ago. I wrote it as a supernatural thriller. And then I'm like, you know what? I like these characters, and this could easily be a crime thriller. Why am I trying to make this into something it's not? Probably got about 5,000 or 6,000 words left of my end to write for the White Trash, for the me and Tom to be finally done with that. So that's one that should be done hopefully soon. Mammoth, I'm at 22,500 words. It needs to be 30,000, so close. I'm at 20,000 words in Shot in the Dark, which is a ex-military guy with some romantic stuff in it that I'm writing 1 chapter a month on Patreon. Chapter 6 goes up tomorrow, but I'm already at like chapter 15 or something. And then I'm writing Carnifex, which is the sequel 30 years later to Permafrost. And I'm at 17,000 words on that. And since Permafrost is not selling, I'm basically writing it just to write it and finish it. So that's everything I have. Once that stuff is done, once White Trash is done, Mammoth is done, Shot in the Dark, and Carnifex, once these are done, then I'm going to just work on those other 2 Southern Gothic ones. And hopefully, my one of the things, a goal I would like to see if I could even do is, finish the King of the Mountain and then start looking for an agent, and then pick one of those other books, one of those other 2, and only write that and short stories and see if I can do it. Not add another book, not look at my tier 2 stuff and I got a couple of different things here and move. I don't want to move anything up. So, see what happens. Nick says, it fell out of my pants when the mushroom coffee won. Yeah. Why are you drinking mushroom coffee? I'm not even drinking coffee today. Isn't that insane? I'm drinking lemonade. Criminal. The cause is lost and all is hopeless. Trish says, happy Wednesday. You were just celebrating 10Ks. Now you're over 19. Yeah, isn't that insane? Just insane. Again, 2,500, 2,559 subscribers just yesterday. It's nuts. Yeah, I'm at 19,338 right now. So yeah, I've added like 500 today. Nutty like a nutty bar. Chet says, "What's everyone reading this week? I'm starting Jane Eyre to no idea what to expect. Good luck." I'm reading that Drunk Days, whatever it is, the nonfiction book about writers being drunk. I just started that yesterday. I read before my wife got home. I read maybe the opening chapter. Trevor says, "Great content plus consistency equals success." That's exactly right. So I put up my Wednesday video. I'm going to record a Friday video, and I'm going to do a Sunday video. I will be here. I probably won't. I will be here tomorrow and Friday. And Friday is Good Friday. So it'll be Good Positive Friday on Friday. Saturday, I don't think I'm going to be on. I think I'm going to go down and see my mom. Sunday morning, Easter, I'll be hanging out with Peter Marsh and whoever hangs out and doing some writing Sunday, but I probably won't be writing Saturday or Sunday, which is fine. I normally don't. So, and then we'll be back here on Monday. Charlie says, about halfway through Armand's permafrost. Well, thank you, Charlie. Appreciate that. Keith says, reading Seal the Deal, roughly 100 pages in. Then Avonwood, my copy arrived last night. Nice, Keith. Nice. Seal the Deal and Avonwood, it's almost the same book, except completely different. Chaz says the people are dressed better in Seal the Deal. Yeah, I'll definitely give you that. That is a definite. Keith says, I'm looking forward to these characters emerging together. I feel it coming. Seal the Deal has been real good so far. Oh, I appreciate that. And then Frank Edler just randomly, with his whatever the heck he keeps posting, his little thing there, and then he says, Volbeat. Are they still even around? I haven't even thought of Volbeat in a while. In a hot minute, as us young kids say. Ugh. So I had the rest of the chicken fajita stuff. I just made one giant burrito that was so big. I should have made two. I had to cut up into pieces and eat like an animal. But then I ate too much. Keith says Volbeat Zug Zug accused. Chad says Volbeat. Is that the Anthrax side project? I don't think it's officially a side project until Scotty Ian joins the band. Although I haven't looked in the last 4 or 5 hours. Has he joined the band? Seal the deal. Volbeat. Come on. Was that the name of one of their albums? Maybe that's where I got it from, but I don't think so. No, I think I just got it from. No idea. There's the Chinese lady. She's on a scooter. Her and her daughter are on scooters together. That looks like fun. Ches has never heard a Volbeat song, but I don't know the one guitarist was an. I don't know. You probably do know the one guitarist was in Anthrax for a minute. Yeah, and then he was in Volbeat for a minute as well. I figured you did know that. Yeah, I didn't know that. I figured you did know. Frank says his song title is a good song too. Yeah, theirs. Yeah, now you spelled it right. Getting a lot of spam. I got a lot of spam the last couple of days of spam of we can help you build your YouTube channel. Like I knew those were coming. Frank just mashed all the they, their, theirs together. Yep. That way he caught all of them. Yeah, Robbie, what is it? Rob Caggiano. I don't think he's in the band anymore though. I think he started as their producer or something, right? Played some guitar on something for them, and then they're like, "You're in the band." He's like, "All right." And then after a while, he's like, "I don't want to be in this band anymore. Fuck you, people." Come on. Friends, I like Seal the Deal better than most of the Accused songs. Just my taste. Fighting words. Boys, into separate corners. I think I might get to the next page on this story. He's no longer on Volbeat or Anthrax. Yeah, I didn't think he was in. Obviously, I knew he wasn't in Anthrax anymore. but I didn't know. I almost was positive I'd heard he'd left. He'd left the beat, as I call them. I heard he left the beat and the Thrax. Clothes just came off. Maybe he's playing on Rachel Bolan's solo album now. Maybe. Does Rachel Bolan have a solo album? I always wonder whatever really happened to Rachel. Why his parents named him Rachel. Next, no, a couple more. Very, very, very close though. A couple more lines. Chet says the beat. Is that the band from Wisco? I know Thrax is from the York. Next page. Next page. He's in Volthrax now. Frank says, yes, either just came out or about to. Saw some promos the other day. Chet says, I thought Volthrax was a Decepticon. Frank said, I dated a girl who had Volthrax on her thigh. You always try to switch to the other side if possible. Let's look that up. Let's look up that news. Rachel Bolan news. So much. Rachel Bolan obituary. Beckley, West Virginia. Oh, wait, that's a girl. Isn't that weird? Rachel Dallas Bolan left this world last year. She's 50. I guess I put musician. What's he saying? Rachel Bolan rejects Tracy Gunn's Skid Row Millions reunion claim. He says, nowhere are they leaving millions of dollars on the table by refusing to reunite. There's not millions of dollars out there. I mean, at Skid Row, we're making really good money. Come on, you ain't making really good money. This says the celebrity net worth thing. Rachel Bolan net worth $8 million. Chalice at Bolan, is that the guy who had the ridiculous nose ring earlobe purse handle? Yes. Rachel Brolin is worth $8 million. Dave Snabo. Dave the Snake Sabo is $9 million. Is what he has. I don't see anything about. Chess, if he's worth 8 million, he definitely made some investments. He may be worth 8 million, but is he liquid? Yeah. Or is he a physical human person? That might be how much he's made in his entire career with all those first couple of well, not the first Skid Row album, but the second and third Skid Row album. But he has to. I'm guessing he spends money on, I don't know, food and stuff. Skid Row's Rachel Bowen announced his debut solo album, Gargoyle of the Garden State, June 12th. Oh, thank God it's not April 10th. Everything else is coming out April 10th. Bowen also shared the album's first single, At War With Myself, along with a video featuring Danko Jones. Gargoyle of the Garden State is a bold, deeply personal debut rooted in the grit, attitude, and storytelling spirit of his New Jersey upbringing. That's according to the press release. It's all Quicksand Jesus royalties, yeah. Nick says, sounds like a bunch of monkey business. I see what you did there. Chad says, Danko Jones, great band. It's not a project. It's every bit of my soul, says Bolin. Like me, it knows when to be serious and also knows where the party is. It was incredible to work with so many of my talented friends, an experience I wish everyone could have at least once. The album features a cover of Oasis's Rock and Roll Star, reimagined through Bolin's distinctive lens. Also features appearances from an exciting lineup of guests, which sounds like all the guests that have ever been on a Steel Panther song. Corey Taylor, Nuno Betancourt, Damon Johnson, Steve Conti, and fellow Skid Row members Scotty Hill, Dave Snake Sabo, and Rob Hammersmith. Oh yeah, there you go. Looking forward to it. How much you want to bet it sounds like Skid Row? Yeah. Frank says, no D. Snyder. Yeah, isn't that weird? He probably was going to have D, but then, you got my arch enemy is going to be singing in your place. No, D, I erased all your vocals. Get out. You know what, D? You're dead to me, and I hate you so much, I'm not even going to go and get gas at any of your gas stations now. I think D. Snyder still has those gas stations. Yeah, D, dead to me. Next page, Nick Zan. Next page. Chad said something and then it was redacted. Chad says, why are we still worrying about Skid Row when Jane's Addiction was right on the verge of a new album before that imploded again? The whole Jane's Addiction thing was so tiring, though. Oh, is Nick here? Yeah, he's here. I've got a cheese bone to pick with him. Oh, cheese bone. You found a bone in your cheese again. Nick says he hopes he's here. He's still got his head in the toilet looking for his wallet. Frank says your question answers itself, Chad. Those first couple James albums, though, worth the drama. I saw them at the first year of Lollapalooza. They were fantastic. I was already a fan of the first album, and I think that Nothing Shocking had just come out when they did Lollapalooza. And I immediately rushed home, and I remember getting very sick, getting the flu or something. But after that, I remember rushing out and getting that album, which is just amazing. That's, to me, that album, right? Nothing Shocking. A perfect album. Not a bad song on that. Frank says, Nick, you said there's no good cheese in Verona, Wisconsin. You mean Wisco. But my wife is telling me the best cheese curds are at a restaurant in Verona. Chad agrees with me. About the Wisco thing, yeah. Because she's basing it on cheese curds from New Jersey. So any cheese curd she has in Wisconsin would be the best. But it's probably people in Wisco right now are scoffing at your wife and be like, those are the worst that they make here. It's kind of like when my wife, when we went up to New Jersey and went to the boardwalk and we got pizza. And she's like, this is the best pizza I've ever eaten. I said, this isn't even good New Jersey pizza. But you've leveled up several steps here. Chess says Ritual would have been a perfect album too if Been Caught Stealing and one other song were taken off of it. Nick wants to know what restaurant. Frank says best cheese curds are ranked by real Wisconsiners. Yeah, real Wiscoers. I agree. Yeah, Been Caught Stealing. I did not like that song, and I was like, "Why? I don't like this song." And let's see what else is on that. I have my Stop is all right. No One's Leaving is good. Ain't No Right is good. Obvious. Yeah, Been Caught Stealing. 3 days. I love that song. 3 days was you just crank that one when they're in the groove. 10 minutes 48 seconds long. Then she did, of course, in Classic Girl is kind of boring. It's like a weird way to end the album. Was it Curds? Curds. The Old Fashioned, I think it's called. 3 days is an absolute epic roller coaster song. That is my favorite Jane's Addiction song, and I like a lot of those their songs. Ritual de lo habitual, Spanish for ritual of the usual. Yeah, I mean, Nothing Shocking is just a perfect album for me. Even Jane Says, as much as I heard that a million times. That's an album that you just put on and you just play. Nick says the old fashioned that's in Madison across from the Capitol. Verona is like 20 to 30 minutes away. So your wife's a liar, is what he just said. Ritual was the only Jane's Addiction I owned. I thought it was trash. I can't see Frank liking Jane's Addiction. Chet says James were playing a new song that was great right before Perry lost his cool and ruined it all. Yeah, you need to get cultured, Frank. Pick up all the Jane's Addiction albums and all the Accused albums. The what's the first? Let me look. I guess the live album, Jane's Addiction, but they overdubbed the crap out of it. That's a good album as well. That's the first for me. That's the first album. Nothing shocking is the second. Trip Away, Whores, Pigs and Sand, 1%, I Would For You, My Time, Jane Says. Rock and Roll, their Velvet Underground cover, I think is fantastic. And also Sympathy for the Devil is also phenomenal. And then Chip Away. Frank says, Nick. Just in all seriousness, Frank, try hard. Give me your top 3 bands. I'll kindly judge you and then give you some recommendations. Nick says, plenty of restaurants have cheese curds and most are Jeff's Kiss. Who the fuck is Jeff? She said the Munster curds were not as good. I Would For You is the best song off that album. Yeah, I love their covers on that one. Yeah, but I Would For You is awesome. Yeah, that's just a great album. I remember I had the cassette of that. But then I don't think I listened to anything else after really after that. Strays came out in 2003, so 13 years later. I mean, I guess I can put it on, give it a spin at some point, but I don't have high hopes. Nick says, trying to remember what place has goat cheese curds. Charlie says, I haven't listened to much Jane's Addiction. Frank says, now, if you want to talk perfect albums top to bottom, let's talk about Manitoba's Wild Kingdom. Phenomenal band. Even the couple of, what did they do, 2 or 3 or maybe 4 old Dictator songs. They gussy them up. Whatever happened to Handsome Dick? He's still alive or no? So New York, New York, which is a Dictator song, which is a great song. They did a cover version of it for the 1988 soundtrack to the film Mondo, New York. I should probably sue them for that. Soon after they began recording, their guy left the band. It was replaced in 1989 by guitarist Ross the Boss. I have that one album. And you? The Party Starts Now, Haircut and Attitude, New York, New York, DWI, also great song. I Want You Tonight. I mean, the first five songs on this album are just amazing. Fired Up, also great song. The Perfect High, Had It Coming, Prototype. Every single, all 10 songs, 26 minutes, 28 seconds of punk ethos, rock and roll. That's a great album. You're right, Frank. Yeah, Ross the Boss, who was part of it was the Dictators and part of Manitoba's Wild Kingdom. Ches has never heard of it, Frank. I'll check it out. He's got to be kicking around somewhere. Haircut and Attitude. I mean, they're all great songs. Didn't a Man of Work? I just yes, we did that. I'm getting chills as you read the song titles. Robert Chesky says, sure, sure, but the Gilligan's Island theme song is an earworm, and now you're all infected. Nope, I still got the Party Starts Now in my head. Richard Blum, known by his stage name Handsome Dick Manitoba. It says he's still alive. He sang with the Dictators. He also sang with a reunited version of MC5 from 2005 to 2012. He's Jewish, born in the Bronx. Ooh. And he does the Handsome Dick Manitoba radio program on Little Steven's Underground Garage channel on Sirius XM. 2007, Manitoba co-authored the official punk rock book of lists with Amy Wallace. From February 2019 to November 2021, Manitoba produced a podcast called You Don't Know Dick. Manitoba has a YouTube channel, Handsome Dick Manitoba Show, that was last updated in April 2023. It has 343 subscribers as of February 2024. I have more subscribers. I have more subscribers in the last hour. Handsome Dick Manitoba wins for best story. Yes, he was in a documentary about Kiss. Nick says Tipsy Cow is downtown Madison with goat cheese curds, maybe the best I had in the city. Read the room, Nick. Robert Cheshire, give it a minute, let it percolate and spread. Yeah, but you blow up things looking for treasure, Nick. Nick says, fine, best album. Weird Al's even worse. Not Polka Party, because Polka Party is better. Robert Cheshire said, I saw Weird Al in concert once. Amazing show. Dick Manitoba podcast, I'm on my way. I'm sure he has some old stories. So yeah, he's still alive. He's 72 years old. So my first was even worse, so it'll be the best, much like License to Ill. Also a great Weird Al Yankovic album. I am definitely listening to some Manitoba as soon as we're done here. That is just a great, catchy album. Chaz says, "Ooh, Jim Ruland. He wrote the Morris bio with Geezer Butler. I read that. Yeah, I read that too. That's why I follow him. I follow him because he's written some cool stuff. I'm guessing you're following his Substack. I see he has a cool sounding book coming out in October. Do tell." It's called Mightier Than the Sword and is described as twisty pulp on Amazon. Well, that sounds interesting. It sounds very interesting. Interesting enough, perhaps, to read it. Ooh. Burping up that fajita stuff is not good. Hmm. All right. Let's see what we got here. Here's the mailman with my junk mail. Son of a bitch. Mm. 81 degrees out right now. 81. I want to thank everybody for subscribing. Obviously, 2,559 subscribers in a day is amazing. Hopefully that keeps building up. I should hit 25,000 by the time I get monetized, and I'm not far off from that. I want to thank everybody for continuing to watch videos. Put them on in the background and mute them if you have to. I definitely appreciate that. Appreciate all the help everyone has given me. Hopefully we can keep building it. Robert says the feed pics did it, huh? Yeah. By threatening, hey, if you don't subscribe, I'm going to post some feed pics. People went nuts. Frank says I watched 7 minutes yesterday. Frank, I appreciate that 7 minutes. I do. That's 7 minutes less then Chad and Keith have to watch. Somebody, a friend yesterday said, "Oh, I'm at work. I don't have time." I said, you're at home, right, in the morning before you go to work. You put your playlist on and you mute it and you just let your computer run in your office all day, right?" And they're like, "Oh, I could do that." I'm like, "You should have been doing that." I was like, "I mean, thank you. I meant to say thank you." However long Avalon Wood review was. Oh, that was like 14 minutes long or something. 15 minutes and 15 seconds. Thank you, Frank. You even watched the whole thing. You are a gem. Fucking a gem. He says, "I'm at work right now. Tell him I call BS." They are a police officer. So I don't believe they're sitting in an office somewhere. I don't think they have a job like you have. You just sit around and eat one cookie for the whole day. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to give him your name and address, and he's going to come down from New Jersey and arrest you. Then we'll see what happens. Who's calling BS now? Where was it? You didn't ask. You got to ask. You got to ask for all the information first. Frank says, "I'll tell you what, your Avonwood review may have been 15 minutes long, but it felt like 7." All right. Well, that's good or bad. I don't know. Frankly, you have this Steve Jobs kind of air about you today. Is it the shirt? Nick says, I'm going to go nap before I go explore for more treasures. You better find this treasure, Nick. This is getting ridiculous. Or maybe Jeff Goldblum. I don't like Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum seems like he would be a little weird and too obnoxious. Told you it's the Rollins suit. I just saw Rollins in an interview yesterday. Not from yesterday, but I watched an interview yesterday. And he's wearing that gray T-shirt that he wears all the time. He was the Fly, man. Never saw it. I saw the original. Never saw it. I'm like, Jeff Goldblum? No. Frank says Goldblum is okay in my book. He just seems really over the top wacky. Now he's in those Jurassic Park TV commercials, all AI and shit. Those apartment commercials. He's just all over the place. Enough of this guy. Chet says Rollins definitely has more black T-shirts than gray. Every time I see him, he's wearing a gray T-shirt. I mean, I haven't been to his house like you have, so I wouldn't know. Loved him in Charlotte's Web. Well, he was phenomenal in that. I'll give you that one. Right now, Google Henry Rollins and hit image is nothing but black. Why? Why does Henry Rollins only wear two colors of clothing? Anytime I've seen Henry Rollins post Black Flag, he's either wearing all black or black and gray clothes with no logos. Is there a reason for this? So he's got some black, some white, some blue, some gray, some olive, khakis, jeans. He wears what he's comfortable in and what he feels makes him look best. Somebody else says, how is this question about music? Henry Rollins spoke about his wardrobe when asked by our reader. Do you have any good fashion tips? He said, are you fucking kidding me? I've spent the better part of my adult life being seen in public with little more than a pair of black shorts. I'm like Richard Simmons, except way more buff and way more straight. Getting dressed up means wearing a black or gray t-shirt and some really basic dark pants. If that gets me into the what not to wear hole of shame, so be it. F clothes. The more time you spend worrying about clothes, the less time you have to grab life by the balls. You ever see a cheetah obsess over scarves and pocket squares? No. You see a cheetah bolt 70 miles an hour to take down a gazelle and shred it to pieces. Be the cheetah. Yeah, if Henry Rollins says be the cheetah, guess what you need to be? The cheetah. He's more interested in good, solid, high-quality boots. There you go. Be a cheetah. He embraces a minimalist, simple, functional, minimalist approach, believing in avoiding the waste of time spent on fashion choices. So I typed in, does Henry Rollins have more black or gray t-shirts? There is no evidence suggesting he owns either a larger collection of gray t-shirts or black t-shirts. Thank you, AI. Is this the Google segment of the show? My favorite part. Yeah. What's a great while here wears something with a band on it? I saw a pic recently. He had a sleep shirt on of all bands. Was that Henry Rollins or Pete Hegseth? Charlie Sheen and his an F-16 bro. What is Mark Zuckerberg's favorite t-shirt color? Gray. It's a strategy to combat decision fatigue. By minimizing daily choices like clothing, Zuckerberg, along with figures like Steve Jobs and Barack Obama, conserves mental energy for critical decisions. Yeah, because me going in my closet and going, which t-shirt should I wear? Should I just wear this black I can't do any other critical thinking. What comic book character is based on Henry Rollins? Negan in the Walking Dead comic book. What is the least popular shirt color? Neon green and mustard yellow. Because they don't mix well with other wardrobes. What shirt color is trending right now? The neutral staples, black, white, and navy. Are Henry Rollins and Ian MacKay still friends? Henry says, we've been best friends since we were 12. We're now in our 50s and we're still best friends. We talk every week and our conversation often goes to music. Has Ian MacKay ever drank? In his early teens, MacKay saw the negative effects of drug abuse on several close friends and one immediate family member, and he vowed to never use tobacco, alcohol, or other drugs. Henry Rollins currently lives in Nashville. There's no evidence. Google Images shows us all the evidence we need. I mean, you can argue all you want. Who gives a fuck? I like pushing the buttons. Everything I've ever seen him in interviews is he's in a gray shirt. When he did that show, most of it he was in that gray shirt. That was a good show. His history show. Did you ever see that one? I think it had one season. That was a good one. Frank says Zuck looks like a royal purple kind of guy. Chad says I did recently read about decision fatigue, and for someone like me, it does actually make perfect sense. He said they're in their 60s these days. That was taken in 2025. He did that interview. He's 65. Yeah. So I don't know when the interview literally said from January 2025. We're in our 50s now. No, you're not. You're in your 65s now. What ethnicity is Henry Rollins? His mother is of Irish descent, and his father was from a Jewish family. His paternal great grandfather fled to the U.S. from Latvia and changed his first name to Henry. Henach, Henach. chose to head to work for a bit. What the hell are you doing? Henry's exactly 9 years older than me to the day. Nice. They must have posted it in 2025. Yeah, I guess so. There's a new Untold coming out soon. It's about chess. Nice. What color are Henry Rollins socks? Just whatever he picks out. It's either going to be black or white because he can't be thinking about it too much. I don't either. I literally have these black socks with the gray bottoms, and I tell my wife or my mom, whoever buys me socks, every year, buy me these. One year, my mom, like 5 years ago, my mom bought me white socks. I'm like, I will never wear white socks. They have to be black socks. I wear black sneakers. I wear the same pair of black sneakers for like the last 20 years, like an old man. Nike Air Monarchs. They're the only ones that come in the 4E width that are actually a 4E width. My feet are very wide. I interviewed Henry once and I asked him a stupid question. And he said, "Man, you were doing so good." Charlie likes chess. Yeah, cheetahs don't wear socks, Frank. I saw Henry Rollins in Greenwich Village in my early 20s when he was doing the speaking engagements. Before he was like he's done them for 30 years, 40 years now. So he's gotten his stories down. He tells some funny Aussie stories and blah blah blah. But back then it was all like I'm gonna like the stuff from that went further than the what was the great book? Get in the Van, the Black Flag tour one, and he just telling stories about crazy people overdosing, and then like while they were on stage, like just crazy stories. Like holy crap! Like if I was on drugs, I would have stopped taking drugs. Evening all, Mike Tinian in the house. You get in the van. Yeah, that's a phenomenal book. They had the book like on like used copies on eBay or Amazon, and they were like ridiculous, like $100 or something. And then I went. I think the first time I ever went to see to Brian Keene's house, uh, he was like, "Hey, if you're," I said, "Hey, is there anything to do? We're gonna probably get in like super early that day." And he was like, "Oh, if you go to the York Emporium, the bookstore," and we went there, and they had really good used copy of Get in the Van, and I think it was like $15 or something. I was like, "Holy shit, I'm buying this." Says, yeah, I have a handful of his books. A few of them signed. One is personalized. Gaming Garage Veer. 9 miles, 9 minutes, 9 meters. Welcome in. But that was really good. That when we went and saw him. Did Vortex put York Emporium out of business? More than likely. Let's look that up. Not. I mean, it was a cool bookstore. It says they're open. What is this? They changed the name or something? Welcome to In Between Pages, the next chapter of the York Emporium. I don't know, maybe they changed the name of it or something. I remember it's just 19,000 square feet, 100,000 title. The place. That place is really cool. Ah, the guy retired a couple years ago. So York Emporium turns the page as Jim Lewin retires and hands bookstore over to a new owner. I remember that guy. Not really friendly. Ooh. So I guess he sold it. I mean, the place it'd take you days to walk through it. Sorry to scare you, Maisie. I scared her. I scared her so much she's got to lick herself again. Do you mean the online store? Yeah, that one. But when they weren't an online store. Chess says, my new TV has been delivered and I've got some chores to do before the Tiger game. Hope you cheaters have fun. You have fun too. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching more than 7 or 15 minutes of this today. Appreciate it. Go Tigers. Oh, we're past 2 hours. I'm gonna wrap this up as well. Thanks everybody for hanging out with me today. Thank you for all the subscribers. Thank you for watching all my videos. I put up a new Wednesday video. I will put up a Friday writing video and a Sunday one this week as well. So hopefully you will watch that. Thank you. And make sure you send Chad Lusky lots of pictures of Henry Rollins in a great t-shirt, which is what I see him in all the time. All right. Talk to you later. See you later, Keith. See everybody tomorrow.